What is up, everyone? Welcome to the David Wells Experiment. I'm your host, David Wells. Let me adjust the camera real quick. Okay, so I haven't done video stuff in a while. I think I did like one episode. Yeah. Geez, what's going on? Well, this will be my first episode in what is it? Man, I feel like a lot has changed since the last one. Last one I did, I think it was at the beginning of 2024. And I feel like stuff has changed. Maybe not in like a huge way, but I don't know, sometimes it's the little subtleties that can be big. I'm finally starting to shoot a movie. It's called Alamo Heights. It's basically, well, it started off as me trying to do like sort of a Wong Kar-wai type of picture. I don't know how successful it's going to be. And by success, I don't mean like I'm going to become famous or even like a few people know of me. I mean, like, who knows to what extent I'll be able to make it look like a Wong Kar-wai film. Yeah, I just knew I had to make something. Anyway, what else happened? Oh yeah, I kind of had some epiphanies. I might have gotten into this in the last one I did, but I don't try to be a superhero at work anymore. I do a good job. I do a decent job. And probably if my work really believed in like trying to be a superhero and giving you what you need to try to be that, I would probably be all up. I'd probably be for it. But you know, I think it might have been a blessing in disguise for me to not do that. Because I've been there for a while, and I've had a lot of coworkers come and go, and I sent a friend request to an old coworker, and she accepted. She was cool. And I started to observe this pattern of like, okay, there's a fair amount of former coworkers who go on to do stuff. Some of them who you're like, oh, they don't try as hard as me, or they don't go at it. And it gave me reason to pause and think, well, why is that? And part of me was thinking, okay, maybe the defining characteristic is you try so hard. Like, you really do believe in, like, you know, giving it your best shot, going 110%. And it made me think, maybe that's the problem. Maybe you do go 110%. Maybe you try too hard. And I think I might have said this before. There's a point. I think it happens with varying degrees. I know one point during the pandemic, I said, I'm just done being a superhero. And I felt less like trying to be one. And even just like the capacity, it was like, it felt like it left me. And something happened around spring break. We were getting really busy and we were losing more and more people. And people were jumping back and forth between doing stuff. And it even sort of started to come my way. So anyway, it was maybe during spring break and a little bit after. They really needed people to get lemonade, get sweet tea, get ice, etc., run orders. And my primary focus is maintaining the lobby. And I was starting to get stressed, but then I had this idea of like, I think I was about to take something out, and I knew there was stuff that I needed to do out in my domain. And so they made a request, and I had the idea. I asked them, okay, what's the priority? And I realized that if they're going to take me away from my primary function, then I can't really be held responsible for it not getting done. If they were really concerned about that, they would have the right amount of people to address those matters. And it seemed continually we didn't. So when I realized what was my responsibility, I just didn't feel the pressure. I mean, what are they going to do? Get on my case about like, well, how come the lobby doesn't look clean? It's like, well, my job is to do that, but also I'm being taken away from doing that. So, I don't know. That's kind of on y'all. And I suppose some people would say like, well, you just need to work harder, like go at it even more hard and more intense. And I realized, no, I don't. And so I didn't feel the need that I've got to be going like 100 miles per hour at work. I was like, I believe for a long time I've had this issue with sort of an overactive amygdala, where I've got to be in that sort of fight or flight state all the time. And I used to get on people's cases for not being in that. Part of me has to wonder if I just didn't want them to be as miserable as I was. So, I guess I owe all those people an apology. And yeah, so I just decided to take things slow. I still try, but it's just like I'm not running around like Morty being like, oh geez, Rick. I don't have that kind of panic about me anymore. And I don't think they can get rid of me just because I am consistent. I show up every day. I mean, I've shown up when like 8 people have called in. I'm like, okay, fine, let's do this. So what can be done? This has really been one of the times where I most wanted to leave. Like I think I said last year, my grandpa passed away, and some insensitive authority figure accused me of using that as an excuse to not work hard. I think if I was anybody else, I think I would have just walked away then and there, but I was just so dumbfounded that someone could say something like that, that their priority wasn't making sure if I was okay. Their priority was like, well, I want the old version of you back, the one that was always hustling. And I realized hustling, I think, can take different forms. It's like staying on top of things, and I don't think you have to run around with you don't have to run around like you're a chicken with its head chopped off. Ironic. So I didn't feel compelled to act that way anymore. Yeah. Some people might be hearing this being like, oh, like, go figure. Don't exhaust yourself at work. I mean, I try. I I do what I need to do in order to function, and that's okay. And there are some people there who do a great job. You can tell they really care, but I don't know that they're the majority. I do feel like we used to have way more sort of like superheroes or people who really win at it at my level. This sounds really arrogant. I realize that. But at my work, for the longest time, I was that meme, you know. There are memes online of like how hard Chick-fil-A workers, you know, go at it. Like running after cars that forgot an item. I did that several times. And sometimes if people were short on change or cash or whatever, I'd spot them. Yeah. So anyway, it was one of the... Ever since that incident last year of like somebody criticizing me for grieving the death of a family member, I don't know. It made me reevaluate how do I conduct myself. And yeah, I think I really want to try to do something different. Honestly, I would love a job where I just talk to people. That'd be cool. Sometimes those are the days that really get me through it, where I just have a good conversation with someone. Oh yeah, the big epiphany, or one of them I had, couple weeks ago, I did this thing that's a bit unorthodox by today's standards. So one of my phone chargers went missing. I don't know what happened. Anyway, it goes missing, and I have to hook up my phone to my computer so it can charge. And I still want to listen to music while I sleep. So I pair it with a Bluetooth speaker. And it was one of the first times in a while where I don't have a smartphone right by my bedside. And so I woke up and, I don't know, my brain felt different. I felt like I could focus more. I'm like, this is cool. So, what do? What I do is, I do it again. This time it's a choice. I did find that charger. But this time I'm like, I wonder what happens if I keep doing this. And I gradually feel better. All those issues with like my amygdala and stuff, felt like it kind of went away. I don't feel nearly as panicky as much as I used to. And I mean, I still hate conflict. Probably to a fault. I'll go to the ends of the earth to avoid it. Or resolve it. Anyway. Yeah. So, what I do is, I did it again. And I'm probably getting repetitious. And I had the other idea of, I'm going to put this, I like this feeling, I want to keep it going. So at work I decided I'm going to put my phone in my backpack. And I've done stuff like that before, but when I was doing it then, I felt like, I've got to have a life or death phone. So I got a little flip phone, and I lost it. But this time around, I'm like, you know what? Just let everybody know you're not going to have your phone on your person. If there's an emergency, just give them your work number. And I'm like, I probably should have done that to begin with. But I've had stuff happen in my life that made me feel like that wasn't good enough. But this time around, I felt differently. And I felt really good. And I do this for about 2 weeks. And I feel at this point, my brain, it creates the mechanism where I'm able to just put it away. And that's cool. But as soon as it does that, I don't get the dopamine hit from putting it away. And then it just becomes like an endurance test. And so for maybe the last week and a half, I've been like spotty with my success. And like about a week ago, I felt kind of fatigued. And let's see, gosh, I need to get my computer fixed. Sometime last year, I think I got some software installed that wasn't great. And it would only cost like, what, $100 to get said stuff removed. Anyway. And so, yeah, I felt fatigued. Like, I haven't since I worked on Expo during COVID. So I get some ice cream. So, like, one day I work an hour longer than normal and I just felt really hit. And as soon as I clock out, I order 2 ice cream cones. And I feel way better afterwards. So I messaged my brother, because he's a fitness instructor. And I'm like, hey, why is this? I felt exhausted. Even energy drinks didn't help. But ice cream did. And he said, you might be low on lipid fats. So try stuff with like olive oil, butter, salmon. And yeah, so the next day I'm really exhausted, and I asked my sister, hey, can you come by my work and drop off some olive oil? And she brings me some olive oil in like a little Ziploc bag. She brought me other stuff too, like flaxseed oil, an energy drink, electrolytes, and yeah, olive oil in a little Ziploc bag. And I took all those things and I felt better. The next day I go and buy like 2 things of ice cream, giant containers, maybe not giant, just noticeable. And I dip some bread in olive oil, and I eat ice cream, and I felt really good. And I woke up today, and that was the first stuff I ate, ice cream, and then I would dip bread in olive oil. Helped out a lot. I started to feel kind of exhausted towards the end of my shift, but I just drank some more water, and that helped. And I feel like my memory is a lot better when I'm not running around all the time unnecessarily. Feel like my memory retention is better. And I kind of wish I had done that sooner. I really think like probably in the past I didn't have to run around all the time like I did, like I thought I did. I think it just came from that fear of like, I'm worried I'm going to get fired or something, so I just have to be that awesome. I mean, now I know I don't have to. And I feel like even if they saw this video and were like, got on my case, I'm like, well, what's going to happen? Am I going to get fired? I don't think they would, because we need people. And there are few people as consistent as me who do the kind of job that I do. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. Anyway, I've been really good at stand-up comedy. I've gotten reactions from people, so that's cool. Yeah. Well, anyway, I remember I prayed for some big change at the beginning of the year. Maybe this was it. Take things slower. I had this epiphany this morning. Don't give them your fire, because I feel like I would give them that, where I would just give my best effort to a degree that, when I was done with work, I didn't have anything left for me, and I'd be too tired to pursue my interests, what I wanted to do. And I don't think I'm being unfair to them. I used to bristle at people saying, like, just do just enough. But my just enough is really good. Last night, my brother dropped me home. We came back from bar, and he dropped me off and he's like, hey, can you run and get me a bottle of water? I'm like, yeah, sure. Go in, grab the bottle of water, come out. I'm not putting any extra effort in. He's like, dang, that was fast. So even just my default, there's a level of excellence that I try to adhere to. And I'm not saying that to brag about me. Just the way I was raised. There were probably some things that were done to me that shouldn't have been done to me to get me to that point, but that is what it is. Now I just kind of got to live with that. Probably why I try to film things as quick as possible and not just savor the moment. I did have one opportunity where I got to just mellow out when I was making a movie. That was a while back. I do think maybe for the next film I should try to do that. But anyway, I want to say this year will be better, and hopefully I do more podcasts. I hear video podcasts do pretty well. We'll see. Well, this has been the David Wells Experiment. I'm your host, David Wells. Have an absolutely super day, and hope all your dreams come true. Bye.